in at number 10, we have the Japanese vending machine killer. In Japan in 1985, a series of poisonings took place in Hiroshima. What are referred to as the paraquat murders or the vending machine murders all happened within a space of 2 months between September and November, and a total of 12 people died as a result. A murderous maniac had poisoned soft drinks and placed them in vending machines. As you know, Japan is vending machine country, so pretty easy. At the time, an energy drink company were doing a promotion wherein machines would dispense 2 drinks rather than 1, so customers just thought that they had a free drink. Others just saw the seemingly unopened drinks in the dispenser slot and thought it was their lucky day. I know if I saw a Coke that was just there, I'd be like, hey, free Coke. Sadly, it was categorically not their lucky day, and the perpetrator has never been found. An infamous drug lord at number 9, we have Sandra Avila Beltran. Beltran is one of the most notorious female drug lords of all time. Known as the Queen of the Pacific, Beltran very much lived the drug lord lifestyle in Mexico. She had nice clothes, fancy things, lots of money, and also did a lot of murders. She was released from jail in 2015 and is still living free in Mexico. From a drug lord to a gang lord at number 8, we have Luis Macedo. So Macedo was added to the American FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list in 2016 and is said to be a gang member from the Chicago Latin Kings. Macedo is wanted for many gang-related crimes, but most importantly, the murder of a 15-year-old boy in Chicago who was burned alive, which is pretty grim. It is believed that he is on the run in Mexico or the southeastern United States. Coming into number 7, we have Hazel Leota Head. This woman, who has changed her name on several occasions, is wanted by the FBI for fraud and murder. She is thought to have married 10 men, all vulnerable and lonely. She was already wanted for burning down a boyfriend's trailer when she shot Charles Barker in the back of the head in Benton, LA. She is known to place singles advertisements in local papers looking for love/someone to steal from. She often works odd waitressing jobs and moves around the country with truck drivers. Her wanted poster says that she may have ties to Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Coming into number 6, we have the 4chan killer. I feel like the internet is brilliant for so many reasons, but there are dark parts. In those dark areas, dark people thrive. The 4chan serial killer is a person who posted on the controversial thread site 4chan claiming to be exactly that, a serial killer. They said that they'd murdered several women. They then wanted to play a sick guessing game, saying that they would post pictures of dead girls if users could guess the previous girl's name. They then posted a picture of a woman named Shauna Maynard alive and then dead, and lo and behold, she had been missing since 1998. After several posts of their other supposed victims alive and dead, the FBI were contacted. However, unfortunately, the killer has not yet been found and could very well still be out there. Coming into number 5, we have Nikolai Dzumagaliev. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but trust me, he's butchered more people. So you have to love it when criminally insane cannibals escape their mental asylums, don't you? Well guys, say hello to Nikolai, a guy who was jailed in the 80s after admitting to killing and eating a number of women. Oh, and he also has metal teeth. All the better for biting you with, my dear. Last year, he broke out of an asylum and then ended up being spotted in Almaty, Kazakhstan. Coincidentally, a young girl promptly went missing. His chilling confessions include enjoying hunting women, drinking their blood, and grilling their hearts. Lovely. Coming into number 4, we have the Edmonton serial killer. Since 1975, over 30 bodies have been found in fields around Edmonton in Alberta, Canada. The killings were largely ignored because the victims were often sex workers or Native Americans, and for some reason that appears to be less of a concern for police in the area, which is extremely depressing. The police finally started to pay attention when the body count started to rack up. Only in the past 5 years or so, they've admitted they actually have a serial killer problem and the killer's at large. The murders bear some similarities to the Highway of Tears murders along the British Columbia's Highway 16, so who knows how far this murderer could have travelled. Coming into number 3, we have the jihadi White Widow. The White Widow, aka Samantha Laithwaite, is one of the world's most wanted terrorists. She played a clueless victim when her husband was outed as one of the London 7/7 bombers that killed 52 people and injured 784. Turns out she was in on it all along and has links to Islamic extremist group Al-Shabaab. She was also linked to a grenade attack in Kenya and the horrible Westgate shopping mall attack that killed 71 people. It is thought that she plays a strong role in recruiting young girls to come to Syria as jihadi brides. Coming into number 2, we have Pedro Alonso Lopez. There are no words shameful enough to describe Pedro Lopez. He's a man who's wanted indicted for murder for over 300 girls in Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru in the 70s. Yes, girls, not women. They were mostly between the ages of 8 and 12. He was only found out when a landslide in the 80s exposed one of his mass graves. He would pretend to be a salesman or someone in need of help, and then he would steal a girl away, rape, and then kill her. Why? Because he said he wanted to help them go to heaven. Maximum prison sentences in Ecuador are 16 years. Now, he served just 14 years and was released 20 years ago. Nobody knows where he is now, but he is wanted in connection with a 2002 murder. What a scary guy to be out there on the loose. Scarier still, at number 1, we have Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. This cretinous maniac is the leader of Daesh, or ISIS. ISIS, of course, are the terrorist jihadi military group who enjoy beheading people, waging illegal war, burning villages, and raping women. Why? Well, because they're evil, but they'll tell you God told them to do it, which is what a lot of evil people say. ISIS pretty much want to kill all of us, but those they don't want to kill, they want to enslave. Hurrah! The Russian military did think that they got a hit on Baghdadi, but sadly they were unable to confirm it, meaning he's probably underground somewhere like the worm he is. Gross. Okay, so coming in at number 10, I find this really creepy. We have the Watcher. If you don't already know about the Watcher, get ready to be spooked. The Westfield Watcher has been sending threatening letters to families living in a house at 657 Boulevard, Westfield, New Jersey. The issue gained public attention in 2014 when a family with 3 young children moved into the home. They started getting letters signed The Watcher. The Watcher introduced themselves in a letter that read, "My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s. My father watched it in the 1960s. It's my time now." Creepy. They also demanded young blood, and in a more recent exchange they were said to have been sinister and derogatory. Some may argue that the Watcher isn't dangerous, but for me, I don't know who they are or what else they could be up to in the neighborhood, and they really freak me out. Coming in at number 9, if you live in Ohio, watch out. In August 2017, an Ohio suspected rapist escaped from a police van. He then stole the policeman's gun as he made his getaway. 32-year-old Brandon Powell was arrested for rape, attempted rape, and sexual battery. He also cut his own throat following the arrest, which officers now think was part of his escape plan. He's 6 foot tall and around 115 pounds. He has dark hair with graying tips and a beard. He's on the loose, he's armed, and he's dangerous. Coming in at number 8, we have the Merseyside murderer. Hip hip hurrah, it's another murderer just escaped from prison. 28-year-old Sean Walmsley escaped from a hospital in Liverpool in February 2017, and he's still at large. He was sent to jail for dealing drugs and savagely killing a man in 2014. Now, he was supposed to be spending 30 years behind bars, which is a lot. 2 assailants with knives rescued Walmsley from police custody at the hospital. He apparently starved himself to lose weight so he could pretend that he was ill. He's 6 foot tall, slim with dark hair and blue eyes. Again, he is armed and dangerous. Coming in at number 7, we have the beer bottle killer. Also dubbed Beer Man, the beer bottle killer is a suspected serial killer from Mumbai in India. The killer murdered 6 people between October 2006 and January 2007. Now, each time they left a beer bottle by the bodies. Weird. A possible 7th murder by the same killer took place in January 2008. While one homeless man was arrested, he was eventually cleared of the crime due to a lack of evidence. Another Indian serial killer still out there, we have Stone Man at number 6. Beer Man, Stone Man. These Indian serial killers seem to really enjoy branding as much as they enjoy killing, which is horrible and really dark. Stone Man, who very well could be a stone woman for all we know, is a killer that was discovered by the trail of homeless bodies that they left behind. Stone Man is known to have killed at least 13 people, although as they're always homeless people, we don't actually know the exact number of deaths. It could be way more. This is the really grim part. This killer got their name by killing their victims with a stone. Just blunt force trauma straight to the head. The killings took place in 1989, but has spawned a similar spate of copycat murderers. Coming into number 5, we have the Colonial Parkway killer. Between 1986 and 1989, at least 8 people were murdered in or around Colonial Parkway in Virginia. Often victims were couples. The first couple were 2 females in their 20s who had been strangled and had their throats slit. Each victim was under the age of 30, with the majority of victims being young adults, although one 14-year-old girl was killed. The bodies of 2 of the victims have never been found, and neither has the killer. Coming into number 4, we have the Lake Bottom murderer. In 1960, 3 teenagers were murdered as they slept in a tent by Lake Bottom in Finland. 2 15-year-old girls and an 18-year-old boy were battered and stabbed to death. A 4th teenager was left stabbed and unconscious. The dead teens were stabbed and brutally murdered, and one of the females had been stripped down from below the waist. The murder was really grisly, and it is unsolved. The surviving boy was only able to give a really sketchy account of the attacker, saying he saw red and black eyes coming for them. Creepy. Coming into number 3, we have the Alps killer. In 2012, an entire family was attacked near Annecy in the French Alps. Saad, Iqbal and Schweiler Al-Hili were shot at close range in their car. A cyclist, Sylviane Mollier, was also found shot dead at the scene. The family's 2 children, aged 7 and 4, survived, one of which hid under her dead mother's legs for 8 hours. This was all while her sister lay shot and bleeding next to her. No killer or group of killers has ever been found, and the case bears similarities to a mass murder in 1986. In that murder, 2 teachers in their 20s were shot for seemingly no reason in Brittany, France. A killer who still seems to be amid their killing spree at number 2, we have the Long Island killer. There is a killer in the state of New York, and they seem to still be at it. The Long Island killer is a suspected serial killer who has murdered a possible 17 people and dumped their bodies along the Ocean Parkway near remote parts of Long Island. Also known as the Craigslist Ripper, the killer usually preys on prostitutes and has possibly been killing since 1996. There's been a renewed spate since 2010. The most recent killings that appear to be connected were in 2016, so they really are still at it. The area of Gilgo Beach seems to be a very popular dumping ground for the murder, with plenty of dismembered human remains showing up there, which is really grim. Finally, at number 1, we have the Doctor. The Doctor is the name given to Ayman al-Zawahiri, one of the world's most wanted terrorists. He gets his name from being a PhD medical graduate and a former physician. The Egyptian native is the leader of Al-Qaeda, who has planned many terror attacks, including almost definitely assisting in the 9/11 planning. Known as Bin Laden's former wingman, the Islamic fanatic has a $25 million reward to his name. For now though, he's still out there and he's still plotting, which is pretty terrifying.
And we're obviously going to start at number 10 now with Alexis Flores. This guy is a fugitive from Honduras who was added to the FBI's most wanted list on June 2nd, 2007. He's wanted for the kidnapping, rape and murder of 5-year-old Iriana De Jesus. It happened in Philadelphia in 2000. Flores had been living as a homeless drifter under the fake name of Carlos. He was given work as a handyman in a local park. The park gave him shelter and clothing as well. On August 3rd of that year, 5 days after 5-year-old Iriana De Jesus had been reported missing, she was found dead in that very same basement that Flores had been given as his shelter. Police questioned the actual owner of the basement, who told them about Flores. When they went to go and find him though, he was missing. Ever since then, he's been on the run. Amazingly, police in Arizona actually arrested him in 2002 for possession of forged documents. They never made the link to the previous case though, and instead deported him to Honduras. In 2006, his DNA sample from Arizona was positively matched to the crime scene in Philadelphia. The following year, he was then added to the FBI's most wanted list. He is considered armed and dangerous and could be in Honduras or even back in the US.
The youngest guy currently on the FBI top 10 list, we have Alejandro Roselos Castello at number 9. He is an American criminal that is only 17 years old, and he killed a 23-year-old woman. That woman was someone Alejandro dated. This teenager is very dangerous.
The FBI is offering a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading directly to the arrest of alleged murderer Alejandro Castillo. The 18-year-old is the latest addition to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list.
The murder took place in Charlotte, North Carolina back in 2016, and ever since then, the police and the FBI are unable to track this kid down. Number 8, do you guys remember Kony 2012? Well, Joseph Kony is known as the leader of the Lord's Resistance Army that is responsible for abducting as many as 2 million people. Is this real life right now? Kony also forced some of these children to kill their own parents. Well, the war against Kony started in 2012. $800 million was spent to try to track this man down, but over the years, there was no successful to kill or capture this man. There was a YouTube video talking in detail about who Kony was and the massive problem happening in our society because of this man. The video was titled Kony 2012 and it currently has over 100 million views.
If they knew, Kony would have been stopped long ago.
Let the world, let the international community take justice to him there. Follow him wherever he is. First, to rescue our children. And secondly, to deliver the justice.
We are determined to cooperate with any friend of Uganda to ensure that this mindless killing and slaughter is ended.
Alright, moving on to number 7 now, we have Jason Derek Brown. This fugitive from LA has been on the FBI's most wanted list since July 2007 for a first-degree murder and armed robbery that occurred 3 years prior. In 2004, Robert Keith Palomares, a 24-year-old armored truck guard, was carrying the weekend deposits outside a theater in Phoenix. At 10 a.m., Brown ambushed him with a gun, shooting him in the head 5 times. Brown then took a bag containing $56,000 in cash and fled down an alley on a bicycle. Palomares was transported to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Within a week, police had issued an arrest warrant for Brown. He fled to Nevada, then California, then Oregon before disappearing completely off the grid. Police have 200 leads about where he might be, although they often conflict with each other. He could be in the US, Canada, or even France or Thailand. The FBI is now offering up to $200,000 for information leading to his capture. Next up on number 6 now, we have Yasser Abdel Said. This Egyptian man is a US resident wanted for the 2008 murder of his own teenage daughters, Amina and Sarah. He was an abusive and controlling father who stalked their every move, watching to see if they dishonored the family somehow. When he suspected that one of his daughters, Amina, was in a relationship, he moved the entire family to a new home. The 2 girls and their mother ended up fleeing from Yasser after Christmas 2007. Eventually though, their mother convinced them that they should return back home to him. On January 1st, 2008, he greeted them with a kiss and took them out in his taxi, telling them he wanted to have dinner with them. He then pulled over and shot both girls to death in the back of his taxi cab. Amina died instantly, while Sarah managed to call the police before she also succumbed to her injuries. Yasser vanished. The FBI thinks he may be driving a cab in New York. On December 4th, 2014, he was added to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitive list with a $100,000 reward for any information leading to his arrest. Moving on to number 5 now, we have Dawood Ibrahim. Meet the most wanted man in India. Ibrahim is the head of a 5,000 strong organized crime network called the D Company. Now they're responsible for everything from drug trafficking to contract killings in countries such as India, Pakistan and the United Arab Emirates. Ibrahim is personally wanted on charges of murder, extortion, targeted killing, drug trafficking and terrorism, to name but a few. In 2003, he was designated as a global terrorist with head money of $25 million US. According to Washington, it's thought he uses the same smuggling routes as Al-Qaeda and has worked with them on multiple occasions. He's thought to have been involved with them in the November 2008 Mumbai attacks, bombings which killed 257 people and wounded 713 more. It's thought that he's also linked to the Bollywood film industry. There have been multiple reports of him financing movies, but also threatening producers to get what he wants.
Alright, moving on to number 4 now, we have John Patrick Hannan, who is actually known as the world's most successful prison fugitive who has been on the run for the past 60 years. That's a 6-0. John Hannan was just 22 years old when he was arrested and put into jail. He was sentenced for 21 months behind bars for stealing a car and assaulting 2 police officers. But he was able to break out of the facility just 30 days after. This guy is either a super genius or just a big dum-dum. I say super genius because he was able to be in the run for the past 60 years. And I say he's a big dum-dum because who escapes from prison when you only have to serve a 21-month sentence? Good behavior might even have gotten him out earlier, who knows?
Next up, number 3 now, we have Semyon Mogilovich. This Ukrainian-born man is a Russian mafia boss, or rather, he is the boss of bosses. He is at the helm of most Russian mafia syndicates in the world. His vast empire has resulted in the FBI referring to him as the most dangerous mobster in the world. Mogilovich is involved in weapons trafficking, contract murders, extortion, drug trafficking and prostitution on an international scale. He hasn't lived a very secretive life either, and his homes and private life are all there to see on his Wikipedia page. The problem for international law enforcement is how well connected and protected he is. In 2006, former Russian Secret Service member Alexander Litvinenko alleged that Mogilovich had a good relationship with a Russian president known as Vladimir Putin. Litvinenko was assassinated via radiation poisoning not long after that allegation. He used to be on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list, but was removed back in 2015. This is because the USA and Russia doesn't actually have an extradition treaty, meaning Russia is not obliged to hand him over to the US if they do catch him, basically making him untouchable. Next up at number 2 now, we have Shane O'Brien. He's a suspected killer who has been on the run for 2 years from UK police. He's now on Interpol's worldwide most wanted list. The 30-year-old is alleged to have murdered 21-year-old Josh Hanson in an unprovoked knife attack in a bar in West London in 2015. According to witnesses, O'Brien removed an item from his coat pocket and plunged it into Josh's neck. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A £50,000 reward is now being offered for any information leading to his prosecution. He's described as white, 6 feet tall, with grey eyes, dark brown hair, a full beard, and a tattoo on his back of an owl holding a skull.
And finally, at number 1, we have Robert William Fisher, who appears on the FBI most wanted list. If you find this man and catch him, you will be rewarded at least $100,000, which is why people actually make it their career finding these type of people who have bounties on their heads. Getting back to Robert William, he is wanted for the 2001 murder of his wife Mary and their 2 children. Robert Fisher then blew up his residential home in Scottsdale, Arizona. Investigators believe he murdered his family because he felt threatened by his wife's intent to divorce.
Justice for a Scottsdale mom and her 2 kids after they were horrifically killed. Now, 15 years later, the images of that crime continue to capture the nation's attention.
It's been about 17 years and still the FBI doesn't know his whereabouts. The question is, how smart is this guy to be able to live another life for all these years? Robert is also currently the longest lasting person currently on the FBI most wanted list. So think about that. The FBI most wanted list, they put a lot of resources into finding that person, but yet they just can't find this guy.